The greatest trick a woman who cheats ever pulls is making you believe that your forgiveness is a sign of your strength, when in reality, she's just testing to see if there's any floor to how low you will let her treat you. You're witnessing a behavioral pattern where your mercy is being mistaken for your permission. Be honest with yourself. You're sitting there trying to fix a broken glass that she shattered on purpose while she's already looking at new sets in another man's window. You're the victim of reconciliation theater. While you are putting in the emotional work to save the marriage, she's using that time to slowly detach her finances, her heart, and her future from you. You're the one paying for the counseling sessions, the romantic getaways, and the gifts to win her back, while she is using that same security to fund her transition into her next life. You think that by staying, you are winning the war for her heart, but psychological blueprints show that once a woman loses respect for your boundaries, she has already handed the victory to the other man. Today, we are decoding why moving on isn't just an option, it's the only way to kill the ghost of the man you used to be and reborn as a man she can no longer touch. If you don't watch this to the end, you're choosing to spend the rest of your life as a plan B in a house where you used to be the king. The day you stop trying to understand her betrayal and start understanding your own value is the day she loses all her power over your future. Men, this channel is more than content. It's a brotherhood that exists for those who refuse to be controlled, distracted, or broken. My ex told me men today are too weak, too distracted, and too controlled to ever unite. I didn't argue. I decided to prove her wrong. Every man who subscribes is proof that discipline, self-respect, and strength still exist. If you stand for truth, self-control, and knowing your value as a real man, if you're here to sharpen your mindset and live with standards, subscribe and stay. Like this video and make your presence known in the comments. Let's see who's serious and is ready to prove doubters wrong, because after this video, you'll be reborn as a new man who has discovered himself and is ready to take back his manhood. Make sure to subscribe and stay ahead, because we're just getting started. We have to talk about the trap of the second chance. You see, brothers, a woman who cheats hasn't just made a mistake, she has made a series of calculated decisions to bypass your protection and disrespect your name. When you stay, you are telling her psychology that your boundaries are negotiable. You are the victim of boundary erosion. She watches you cry, she watches you beg, and she watches you try to repair things, and instead of feeling love, she feels a cold sense of pity. In the female psychological blueprint, a man who accepts a traitor back is a man who has admitted he cannot do better. You think you're being a good man, but you're actually becoming a safety net that she will jump on until she finds a harder branch to swing to. This is why moving on is the only win. It's the only move she doesn't expect. She expects you to fight for her. She expects you to be angry. She expects you to follow her around and check her phone. As long as you are doing those things, she is still the center of your universe. She still has main character energy in your life. But the moment you move on, truly move on, where you don't care who she's with or what she's doing, you perform a psychological reset. You take the crown back. You are the victim of a woman who wanted to see you broken, and your refusal to stay broken is the only way to win the war. I want you to hear about a man named Michael. Michael was a teacher, a man who lived a quiet, honest life. He found out his wife of 12 years, Sarah, was having a work affair. When Michael confronted her, Sarah did what they often do. She cried, she blamed stress, and she told him she was confused. Michael, wanting to keep his family together, chose to stay. He spent the next 3 years being a detective. He was the loser in this story because he stayed in a relationship that had become a prison. Every time Sarah's phone buzzed, Michael's heart stopped. Every time she was 10 minutes late, he felt sick. Michael was the victim of chronic betrayal trauma. He thought he was fighting for his family, but Sarah was actually using those 3 years to wait for the other guy to get a divorce. She used Michael for the house, the insurance, and the social status of being a married woman while she was mentally and emotionally long gone. When the other man finally became available, Sarah left Michael anyway. Michael lost 3 years of his prime. His hair went gray, and his self-esteem was in the dirt. He failed because he thought his forgiveness would change her character. He didn't realize that you can't build a future with a woman who has already burned the blueprints. You have to understand the psychology of the ghost. The most powerful thing a man can do after being cheated on is to become a ghost. No long letters, no closure talks, no checking her Instagram. When you move on instantly, you create a vacuum of validation. She expects to be the one who dumped you or the one who let you stay. When you remove yourself from the equation entirely, she is left with the reality of her own choices. You are the victim of emotional vampirism as long as you stay. She feeds on your pain because it proves she is still important. The second you move on and start building a better life, a better body, a better bank account, a better mindset, you turn her victory into a loss. The next behavioral observation we have to discuss is the social proof shift. When a woman cheats, she usually tries to paint you as the bad guy to her friends to justify her behavior. If you stay and fight with her, you give her the evidence she needs. You look crazy or controlling. But if you move on with silence and dignity, her story falls apart. You are being reforged in the fire of her betrayal. Moving on is the only way to preserve your social sovereignty. It shows the world that you are a man of such high value that you don't even have time to be angry at a traitor. The sovereign exit starts with the total resource withdrawal. The moment the betrayal is confirmed, your resources must move from us to me. You don't fund her healing process. You don't pay for her space. You move on by reclaiming your time and your money. A man who moves on isn't just leaving a woman. He is leaving a version of himself that was weak enough to be played. You have to realize that your future is too expensive to spend on a woman who has already shown she doesn't value the premium version of you. The most uncomfortable truth about moving on is realizing that the woman who betrayed you isn't actually afraid of losing you. She's afraid of losing the lifestyle you provided while she was busy looking for your replacement. When she sees you packing your things, or better yet, packing hers, her psychology shifts from attraction to the new guy to panic over the lost resource. You've been the victim of utility-based love. She didn't love the man, she loved the stability the man provided. You're sitting there wondering how she could throw away your connection, while she's actually wondering how she's going to pay the car note without your signature. You're the victim of a parasitic narrative. She needs you to stay broken so she can feel like she moved up in the world. Today, we are finishing the blueprint for the ultimate win. We are looking at the final psychological stages of the winner, the validation vacuum, the success as revenge trap, and the permanent silence strategy. I'm going to show you why disappearing from her life is the only move that forces her to face the man she's actually with, without the luxury of your protection. If you don't watch this until the final second, you're leaving the door cracked for a woman who only wants to come back to steal what's left of your peace. The only way to truly punish a traitor is to become a version of yourself that she no longer has the clearance to speak to, let alone love. We have to look at the validation vacuum. This is a powerful behavioral pattern. When a woman cheats and you stay, you are effectively validating her choice. You are telling her that even after she has committed the ultimate disrespect, you are still her fan. This keeps her ego inflated. However, the moment you move on, truly move on, with no contact and no emotion, you create a vacuum. Suddenly, she's left with the new guy, who is often just a shadow of the man you are. Without the drama of you fighting for her, the affair loses its excitement. It turns from a romance into a mistake very quickly. You are the victim of drama dependency as long as you stay. The win is in the exit. By moving on, you force her to live with the consequences of her choices in a world that no longer includes your support. Then comes the rebranding of the self. Notice how, when a man stays after being cheated on, he tends to shrink. He becomes smaller, quieter, and more desperate to please. But the man who moves on does the opposite. He expands. He hits the gym until his body looks like it belongs on a magazine cover. He works until his bank account reflects his true value. He reads until his mind is a fortress. This is a psychological power move. You are shifting the social proof. When the world, and eventually her, sees you doing 10 times better without her than you ever did with her, the narrative changes. You are no longer the victim of a cheater. She becomes the woman who fumbled a king. You are being reforged by the fire she thought would consume you. I want to tell you about a man named Jason. Jason was a high-level project manager, a man who provided a life of pure comfort for his wife, Monica. When Jason found out Monica was seeing a friend behind his back, he didn't scream, he didn't beg for the truth. He had already watched Section 1 of this training. Jason was the winner in this story because he understood the disappearing act. While Monica was expecting a month of crying and talks about their marriage, Jason was already talking to a lawyer and a real estate agent. Within 2 weeks, Jason moved out of the house, transferred his work to a different city, and changed his phone number. He didn't leave a note. He didn't give her closure. Jason was the winner because he understood that closure is a scam women use to make sure you aren't mad at them when they leave. By moving on instantly, Jason left Monica in a state of psychological shock. She had the new guy, but she didn't have the house, the vacation fund, or the respect of the community. Within 6 months, the new guy, who was just a low-level vibe without any real substance, left her because she was too stressed about money. Monica tried to find Jason, but he had already built a new life. He was dating a woman who respected his leadership, and his bank account was at an all-time high. Jason won because he realized that his absence was the most expensive thing he owned, and he refused to sell it back to a woman who had already stolen his trust. He turned her betrayal into the fuel for his greatest expansion. You have to recognize the hoovering strategy. This is a very common psychological pattern. Once you move on and start winning, she will try to hoover you back. She will send a text saying, "I had a dream about you," or "I saw this and thought of you." This isn't love, it's a re-entry audit. She wants to see if she still has power over you. She wants to see if the safety net is still there in case her current life fails. You are the victim of emotional recycling if you answer those texts. The win is in the block. You don't respond with anger. You don't respond at all. Your silence is the loudest message you can ever send. It tells her that she has been deprioritized to the level of a stranger. The winner's protocol is about total identity shift. You don't just move on from her, you move on from the man who let her treat him that way. You have to kill the nice guy version of yourself that thought loyalty was enough to keep a woman with no character. You become the man who leads with standards and follows with consequences. When you move on, you are telling the universe that you are ready for a higher level of life. A man who stays with a cheater is a man who is telling the world he is discounted. A man who leaves is a man who is restocking his value at the highest price. You are being reborn. You now know that moving on isn't about her, it's about the reclamation of your soul. You are no longer the man who accepts crumbs of affection from a hand that has touched another man. You are the sovereign man. You recognize that the win isn't found in her regret. The win is found in your progress. You are the master of your own destiny, and you don't let a traitor sit at the table of your success. Your life is an empire, and empires don't negotiate with those who try to destroy them from within. So, here is the smart question for the Brotherhood today. If your life became 10 times better the moment she left, was she ever a partner, or was she just a weight that was holding you back from your true potential? I want to hear from the winners in the comments. How long did it take you to realize that her leaving was actually the biggest blessing of your life? How did your business, your body, and your mind change once you stopped spending all your energy trying to save a woman who didn't want to be saved? For the men who are currently in the middle of the pain, read the comments of the brothers who made it to the other side. Let's get the engagement up so we can show every man that there is a kingdom waiting for him the moment he stops trying to fix a broken house. Drop your story below. Like I always say, this channel is for men who are done blaming themselves for other people's choices. If that's you, don't leave as a spectator. Subscribe and stay ahead because we're just getting started. Support the message, speak in the comments, and stand with the men who choose clarity over confusion. I'll see you in the next one. Stay sharp, stay cold, stay strong. Remember that you're the price.